Getting started with dynamic pricing. This little section is really just about giving you the construct that you want to have when it comes to building out some reports and the things and the key components you want to include in this data set to actually give you that context and visibility of what's happening in the marketplace. And that's really what it is all about. Dynamic pricing, yeah, understand I probably can do better by changing it. What do I change and by how much and when? And you need some indicators to actually help you push you down those decisions. It's not just, oh, you know what, I'm going to put the rates up today. You need to have some rationale and some reasoning behind it. And if we can get the right data in front of you in the right format, you'll actually have that information at your fingertips to be able to make adjustments in your pricing. So here's a model that we look at. The 4 things that we feel you should be including into a simple yielding report. You can take this to the nth degree, but remembering here at Hotel Rescue, we're always about the 80-20 principle, and we think this is a nice level of optimization without trying to overthink it and over-optimize it. But if you can build these 4 components into a document, into a spreadsheet, or you can find some software that actually helps you do it, and you can drive that software in the way that you think your strategy should be. That would be the goal when getting started with dynamic pricing. So I guess the first thing is you want to look at your historical data and your future data. So I've got that up there in the top right hand corner. That's sort of the first thing. You want to have a document that actually holds all the historical information, at least for the last 3 years would be my preference, because you can see the patterns over the last 3 years. 1 year back's great, but May last year may have been an anomaly. It may have been a peak event. So we really need to take a hint from the years prior as well and try and follow those trends through, but then also start to put future holdings into the report. Holdings are, if I'm speaking the double Dutch here, holdings are simply what we call it business on the books. It's like if it's now April and I'm looking at the May calendar, what have I got already before the month starts? Or what have I got next week? What's your future holdings? Anything forward from today, what have I got on the books for tomorrow? If you've got a 10-room property and you've got 5 rooms sold, how confident are you going to sell those next 5 rooms with only 1 day to go? So historical and future holdings. We also think it's really important to track pickup. And I think I explained this in the last module, in the data and numbering module. But pickup is literally what changed since you last ran the report. So if you're on a daily cycle of running your yielding reports, what happened overnight? What happened in the last 24 hours? So yesterday, we had 40 rooms sold out of a 50-room property. Today, we've got 46. So we picked up 6 rooms overnight. So you want to be tracking your pickup by day, and preferably having a section there where you can not only track up your daily pickup, but a 7-day pickup. So a pickup that looks back over the last 7 days and sees what have we picked up in the last 7 days rather than just overnight. It's all about trying to see the trends. You definitely want some competitor pricing in here. This is that external benchmarking we're talking about. It's one thing to have your historical, your future, and trying to match them up against each other and see what pickup and demand's coming inside in a very insular sense. But we need to get some outside market intelligence in there. You need to know what's happening with your competitors' pricing. You don't need to know their occupancy. It'd be nice to know their occupancy, but you're not going to get that. But these days, through rate shoppers and the likes, you can actually get the intelligence and build it into this report. So you can actually benchmark and say, right, well, that's my holdings, that's my pickup, my current occupancy, the current rates that I'm holding and the revenue and everything going on there. What are my competitors doing? What rates am I got in the marketplace? What rates have they got in the marketplace? And it'll tell a story. It'll tell you if you've seen them build their rate over time, you know they're getting full. So therefore you go, well, you know what, if they're a direct competitor to me and they usually fill before me, you know that your turn's next. as an example of how to read the story out of it. So get some competitor pricing in there. And the other thing we really encourage you to get in there is what are the events and other opportunities that are happening more broadly in the marketplace that will impact accommodation demand based upon what's going on. So if you can get that in line with all this data, the goal is to have it by day and have all this information in there. Historical, future, rates, competitor pricing, pickup, and then on the far right is where we typically place it, is you want to know what's happening in the marketplace. Because as you're looking at this, you're going, my pricing's here, my holdings are there, the pickup's strong, my rates are here, my competitors' rates are there, and you're always looking over here, especially as you go down and look into the future, you can see what's happening in the marketplace, rather than going, oh, what's driving the demand there? And if there's a major constant on in town, you can go, we can see they're already getting pickup down here 3 weeks ahead. Righto, let's do something with our rates down there now. So it's all about context at the end of the day. You get the context, you have the information in front of you, it'll give you the confidence to then be able to make some fluctuating decisions around price.